Episode 69, The Furious Protector of His Wife. You look stunning tonight. Seeing Ningxi also staring blankly at the suddenly appearing man, the socialite immediately mocked, "Do you even have the qualifications to look at a man like this?" Tonight, Ningxi has almost reached the limit of dealing with brain-dead people. "Mr. Liu, do you have any orders?" Following closely, the manager of the bar hurriedly arrived, approaching the man with a face full of attentiveness. Carlos Bar is operated under the Liu Group, and the manager had only been fortunate enough to see the mysterious behind-the-scenes owner once. Due to the deep impression, he recognized him at a glance. The manager knew that this boss didn't like others to know his identity, so he only called him Mr. Liu. "Tonight, all the bills for the customers are on me," Lu Tingxiao said indifferently. "Okay, no problem." The manager quickly agreed. As soon as the words fell, the entire bar erupted in cheers. In fact, the identity of the newcomer, judging from the manager's nervous attitude, was definitely either rich or noble. Observing his generous actions only confirmed this. The socialite on the side had been greedily eyeing Lu Tingxiao since earlier. Seeing him being so generous, she couldn't hold back any longer and walked over, her heart pounding. "So, you're Mr. Liu? I'm Wang Roland from the Wang Group. I don't know where Mr. Liu is high and whether I have the honor to have a few words and drinks with Mr. Liu." With such a handsome appearance, enchanting demeanor, and formidable financial power, the total bill for all the customers tonight was probably in the millions. Yet, this man didn't care at all. Every aspect of him was fascinating. Moreover, his last name was Liu. Could he be related to the legendary Liu family in the capital? Lu Tingxiao casually swept his gaze over the socialite, his expression indifferent. "For this question, you need to ask someone. As long as she agrees, I have no objection." "Ask who?" The socialite immediately asked subconsciously. Lu Tingxiao's slightly cold gaze fell gently on Ningxi across from him. Her. What? Ask this trash? The socialite couldn't believe what she was hearing. A hint of coldness flashed in Lu Tingxiao's eyes. "I'm sorry, young lady, please retract your inappropriate words and apologize. She is the woman I love the most." After saying that, as if feeling that this statement was not shocking enough, he added, "Unfortunately, I haven't been able to pursue her until now." Your beloved woman?" The socialite screamed in disbelief. How is it possible? Such a man should be matched with someone of her status. How could he pursue such a dirty woman? Liu? Beside her, Ningxi saw that Lu Tingxiao was arguing for her and was about to speak. Lu Tingxiao gave her a reassuring look and whispered, "It's okay, leave it to me." Seeing Lu Tingxiao's tenderness towards Ningxi, the socialite's face turned liver-colored. "Mr. Liu, don't be deceived by this kind of person. She's just playing hard to get, trying to get more money." After speaking, she threw all the money and cards from her bag onto the ground in front of Ningxi. "Get away from this man. Name your price if you want money. And you, too, get away from this man. Whatever price you want, Lan Jie can afford it." Several women next to the socialite chimed in, "You, wanting money, right? Name your price, Lan Jie can afford it all." Lu Tingxiao silently watched the socialite madly throwing money. Then, he calmly spoke again, "In addition, besides being the love of my life, she is also my boss, my employer. Tonight, she is the one treating everyone. So, you are currently drinking the liquor of my boss while insulting her. If possible, please spit out the liquor you drank earlier." After finishing, without caring about the incredulous expressions of the socialite and others, Lu Tingxiao looked at the Stunley master on the side. "Of course, this includes you." In an instant, everyone at the scene, like weathered sculptures, stood there dumbfounded. The distinguished man before them was already terrifying enough just with his identity. But now, this man claimed that the woman they had always mistaken for a transactional woman was his subordinate and his boss? So, what kind of terrifying and dreadful identity did this woman have? Whom had they provoked? Are we crazy? This woman is his subordinate? Boss? Did I hear it wrong? How is this possible? It must be a lie. But why would he lie to us? There's no need for that. And look at this man named Liu, besides being admiring, he's genuinely respectful to that woman. Could that woman really be his boss? My goodness. Red Sister was just throwing money at her. Simply asking for trouble. In reality, Carlos Bar had always been a hidden dragon and crouching tiger. Anyone, even someone dressed in coarse linen clothes, could be a big shot. So, the more they thought about it, the more likely it seemed. For a moment, everyone was pale with fear, looking at Ningxi as if she were a ghost. "Then we're finished. I was just calling her a whore. We're done. Me too. We're really going to be killed this time. Why did we mess with such a big shot? While others were horrified, Ningxi's expression was complex at the moment. She wanted to show many expressions at once, but it ended up looking expressionless, which was so profound and unpredictable that it made those people shiver. To vomit or not to vomit? To vomit, they offended such a big shot. Would they be able to leave the bar tonight with all their limbs intact? In the end, no one knew who started first. With a wow, the sound of vomiting echoed. This vomiting sound seemed like a signal, and the sound of vomiting spread one after another. Although Lu Tingxiao had only mentioned Wang Ruolin and that Li Master by name, there were quite a few others who had insulted Ningxi just now. However, Wang Ruolin and Li Master had lower status, and they all consciously started vomiting first. To not vomit would be courting disaster. Seeing everyone around vomiting, Miss Wang's face turned iron blue. She slowly raised her head, glanced at Lu Tingxiao on the opposite side, and seemed to hope that the man would take pity on her. However, as soon as she raised her head and saw the man's non-threatening gaze, she couldn't control herself due to extreme fear and immediately vomited. Seeing everyone vomiting, Li Master, who had been struggling to save face, couldn't hold on any longer. He pressed his throat with his hand and forcefully induced vomiting. Where would he have thought that he nearly died here just because he wanted to show off as a hero for his face? In an instant, the entire bar was filled with a nauseating and unpleasant smell of alcohol, making it unbearable to witness. Lu Tingxiao expressionlessly took off his coat and covered Ningxi with it, preventing her from getting stained, then turned and left without looking back. At the same time, on the second floor of the bar, Lu Jingli held a bag of melon seeds in his arms, maintaining an expression of awe. Damn. This crazy protector of his wife going berserk is simply too frightening. But, dude, when you go berserk, can you at least pay attention? This is our own bar. Are you still planning on doing business? Forget it, forget it. This guy only has his wife in his eyes. Where is there any room for running a business? Outside the bar was a street lined with ginkgo trees on both sides. The night was cool, and a pair of men and women were strolling along the quiet street. Are you okay? Lu Tingxiao asked with concern. Ningxi shook her head. Her mood had not completely calmed down yet. How did you suddenly appear there? I was discussing things upstairs. It just ended, and I happened to see you as I was leaving, Lu Tingxiao explained. Oh. Ningxi didn't know what to say. Thank you for helping me out. Lu Tingxiao didn't seem to care. No need to thank me. I know that even if I didn't intervene, you could handle it yourself. I just didn't want you to dirty your hands. The man's low, husky voice lingered in her ears, and Ningxi's heart beat rapidly. She cleared her throat and changed the topic. By the way, why did you tell them that I'm your boss? In fact, you're my boss. This seems a bit confusing. For you, what kind of existence is a boss? Lu Tingxiao didn't answer directly but suddenly asked. What kind of existence? Well, I guess it's someone who gives me money every month, and I make money for him. I exist to obey his commands, Ningxi answered after thinking for a moment. Lu Tingxiao nodded. Ningxi was dumbfounded. What did mean? The next moment, she suddenly realized. According to her understanding just now, wasn't the definition of a boss the same as that of a wife? She had walked the longest road in her life. It was the great demon's tactic. It's very late now. I should go back. Thank you for tonight. Ningxi bid farewell. Lu Tingxiao happened to be walking towards where he parked his car. He opened the car door and said, I'll take you. Ningxi scratched her head. That's not necessary. I can take a taxi back. Lu Tingxiao said, you looked beautiful tonight. It's not safe. Ningxi decided to shut up from now on. Would it be safer not to be teased? In the end, Lu Tingxiao still drove her to the entrance of her apartment. Finally home, Ningxi sighed in relief, bowed, and said, thank you, boss. I'm going now. Ningxi, Lu Tingxiao suddenly called her. Huh? Can I hug you? Lu Tingxiao asked softly, as if afraid of disturbing a timid elf in the deep night. Ningxi was shocked. Under the sparkling stars, the gentle gaze from Lu Tingxiao almost drowned people in its tenderness. Game over. The opponent's beauty trap was too fierce, and the city gate was about to fall. She knew he was using a beauty trap. She knew he was systematically and deliberately enchanting her step by step. Yet, she still couldn't resist. Being teased by the person she liked, who could endure it? She should be awarded the Best at Resisting Temptation prize for holding out until now. What to do, what to do, what to do, agree or not? In this increasingly thick ambiguous atmosphere, Ningxi's phone suddenly rang. This sound in the quiet air of the night was particularly abrupt. Ningxi was still in a daze, absent-mindedly picking up her phone to take a look. However, the next second, after seeing it clearly, she was so scared that it seemed like her soul had flown away. The phone screen displayed a line of words quietly. Dear, dare you to agree to give it a try, YS. Damn. Luzong, it's quite late now, and the moon tonight is beautiful. Haha, you should go home earlier. I'm also heading to bed now. Bye-bye. Ningxi displayed the fastest speed in her life, disappearing within a second. She had no idea what she had said to Lu Tingxiao just now. Lu Tingxiao stayed in place, first watching the girl's tragic and wild escape, then lifting his head to gaze vaguely in the direction of the darkness. Until she rushed into the house, slammed the door shut with a bang, Ningxi's heart still couldn't calm down, beating almost frantically. After taking several deep breaths, she took out her phone again and looked at it. Dear, dare you to agree to give it a try, YS. It was this sentence, she didn't read it wrong. There was also that certain someone's threatening, iconic, and annoying smiley face. What the hell was going on? Could that guy have been nearby just now? Ningxi's fingers trembled slightly. After pacing back and forth in the room for dozens of laps, she finally stopped her wild thoughts and directly dialed the other party's number. The person on the other end of the phone seemed to be deliberately teasing her, not answering until the phone was about to hang up automatically. The voice was casually lazy. Hello? Where are you now? Ningxi immediately got straight to the point. Las Vegas. Are you messing with me? Heh, if I were really nearby, do you think you could still call me so calmly right now? The man's voice was somewhat gloomy. Did you send someone to watch me? TSK, don't think of me so lowly. I don't care how you found out. I'm asking you, what do you want? Ningxi took a deep breath to stabilize her emotions, gritting her teeth as she asked. Secrets. Damn it. Darling, behave. I hope tonight's incident won't happen again. Understand? Hey, hey, hey. The sound of the call being hung up came from the other end of the phone. Ningxi punched the bed in anger. After that night, Ningxi lived in constant fear, afraid that the guy would suddenly appear from somewhere and exhaust her to the point of nervous breakdown. The only relief was that she had finally managed to endure until the completion of the film without any major incidents. Finally, it was the last scene. Starting from last night, Ningxi had been tense, brewing her emotions. This scene depicted the moments before Meng Changa's death. It was the final shot of the entire film, even more critical than the climax of Sun Huanqing's death. Even Ningxi couldn't guarantee that she could completely control it. For the first time in the history of her acting career, Ningxi felt nervous. Because she had been immersed in the script, Ningxi didn't notice that when she appeared on the set, everyone's eyes were strange as they looked at her. Until Fangya swaggered over to her, trying to get her attention. Ningxi, you finally came. There's a letter for you. Seems like it's from your admirer. Ningxi was reviewing Meng Changa's life in her mind, contemplating her emotions just before her death. Her nerves were in a highly tense state, so even though she was physically present, she didn't hear what Fangya was saying. Fangya held a pink letter in her hand, and in the corner of the letter were two easily overlooked letters, YS. Fangya waved the letter and then, in a considerate manner, said, Oh, Ningxi, you're reading the script. You're so busy. Let me read it for you. Those who had already seen the content of the letter couldn't help bursting into laughter. Fangya immediately read it aloud with exaggerated enthusiasm. Ah, my dearest Shi, I love you, like a mouse loves rice, like a cat loves fish, like a dog loves bones. Fangya's tone was overly dramatic and funny. As more people gathered around, the laughter became louder. Ha ha ha. This love letter is so corny. Has the person even graduated from elementary school? Maybe even just from kindergarten. In this day and age, someone is still writing love letters? I can't believe it. Who could it be? Needless to ask, it must be one of Ningxi's poor admirers. Be serious. I haven't finished reading. Fangya scolded them, then continued, At this moment, I extend my sincerest wishes and love to you. At tomorrow night's wrap-up banquet, I will surely present the most precious, tempting, irresistible, and perfectly matched gifts that befit your beauty, wisdom, and nobility. Fangya, unable to contain herself, burst into laughter again. Ha ha ha. I can't take it anymore. Someone save me. Is this guy not only a poor admirer but also mentally handicapped? Such grandiosity. Is he planning to gift a bulldozer at the wrap-up banquet? It's truly a perfect match for Ningxi's noble status. Laughter filled the scene. A tractor and bricks are also possible. Maybe it's a truckload of steamed buns? Don't guess randomly. A truckload of steamed buns is also quite expensive. TSK, pretending to be rich without money, it's really too much. How could Ningxi have such a disgusting admirer? Hee, there's a saying, you attract what you are, right? The noise in the crowd grew louder. Ningxi, who was surrounded, had not spoken all this while. Suddenly, with an extremely cold expression, she uttered 2 words, quiet down. Her voice, like a razor-sharp blade, directly slashed across the most vital arteries of those people. Fangye immediately fell silent, and the others lowered their voices. Then, holding the script, Ningxi stood up, expressionless, and pushed through the crowd, heading straight towards Guqixing on the opposite side. In reality, when Ningxi heard the chaotic noise just now, she only perceived a clamor and didn't know what Fangye and the others were saying or reading. She hadn't even noticed the so-called love letter, as she was completely focused on avoiding disturbance and immersing herself in her role. As Ningxi walked away, the discussions among the crowd became louder. TSK. Who does she think she is? Exactly. What's with the act? She even knows she's losing face. Wasn't she proud before? Claiming to be the #1 beauty in the entertainment industry, with countless admirers. Flowers and diamonds on the first day of shooting. What's the situation now? The caliber of her admirers is getting lower. What flowers and diamonds? It's clear at a glance that this is an uncultured parvenu. How can he be compared to someone like Suyen? By the way, could this be Ningxi deliberately bringing her own admirers to boost the scene? Possibly, after all, there was a real high-class gentleman like Suyen at that time. If Ningxi Xuelua stole the spotlight, she probably didn't want to be overshadowed herself. Hearing this, a glint of cunning flashed in Fangye's eyes. She lowered her voice mysteriously and said to everyone, speaking of Suyen, I have to tell you a shocking, earth-shattering secret.